It's going to be fabulous. Come on, get the Jim Cummings.
We will scale the heights of adequacy.
Without further ado, you don't want to hear me talk. Mr. Jim Cummings.
I was enjoying it. Hi. Is anybody having a good time or what? Me too. Thanks for inviting me out to play. What have you got? Oh, she's got a sign. I heart signs. I get it. All right. Well, very cool. Well, thanks for coming out to play and stuff like that. There's Abby. So we're good. I feel like I'm starting to know all you guys. This is really cool. And this is a pretty cool con, huh? I mean, this is not bad. This is good stuff, man. And I'm like I always say, I'm just a guy that used to get kicked out of class for doing this stuff, so I can't recommend it, but so far so good. And she hearts dark wing, I get it, okay, fine. He is the terror that flaps.
I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the floater that crime cannot flush. I am Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, and I don't know. Does anybody ever remember boom 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 $10 to anybody who knows the words? Anyway, yeah, I was trying to do a theme song, sing along, but then I remembered I don't know the words. So we won't be doing that. Okay, we're going to do that not a lot. And, oh God, the troublemakers, Kansas, cheese and crackers. Wow, dude, you had your own seat saver? And it was a good looking chick? What am I doing wrong? Nobody wanted to see that from me. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out with these guys. But yeah, so far so good. And I got this weird career, and it's so far, like I say, so far so good. And folks are asking me if anything's coming out, and I did a couple of shows, in and outs, characters on a thing coming up called Motor City. Some fish hooks, some penguins of Madagascar, those are wacky penguins, and God, every time I do this, I forget one or two, so you guys will probably correct me next year. You forgot that one, and I probably did, but there's a big lag time, especially like with video games, they just seem to take forever. Movies really take forever. It's about 3 years, just in case you didn't know. I realized I was kind of doing the math on that the other day, and from like audition to premiere with movies, it seems like it's 3 years. It's probably a little quicker with live action, but they cheat. They use their face, they use cameras, explosions. Anybody can make a good movie that way. But me and my guys, I guess we take a little longer, but hopefully it comes out okay. But I know that a lot of times people have questions and want to know how I got started and this and that, and I don't have any answers, but anybody is welcome to try to ask something. Has anybody got anything they want to talk about or figure out or this or that? Or yes, sir. Oh gosh. Ooh, boy, I don't know. I never thought of it that way. My whole thing is, Snow White was made in 1939, and she's still out there. So my whole thing is that I just want to do it and do it right, and so that it stands alone. In fact, when we're making the Winnie the Pooh movie that came out last year, about a year ago, almost exactly. I had a really bad allergy like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, it seems like, and we did a couple of sessions, and I was like, you know, can we erase those? Can we just de-res them or whatever you do? Put a magnet over the tape, something. Because it just, you know, like it sounded like Pooh had a cousin of Christopher Lloyd, and that's just wrong. They were kind enough to scrap it and let me do 2 or 3 sessions over again. And the point is that they kind of live forever, you know. Paul Frees, the great Paul Frees, one of my heroes. He actually died on my birthday many moons ago. But he was the Pillsbury Doughboy. You guys know who Paul Frees was? He was great. The thing is, you go to Haunted Mansion at Disneyland now, out in California, and he was the voice of the Haunted Mansion, and he still, beware of hitchhiking strangers. And it's still there, you know, and the point is that it lives forever, and it just stays there forever, so I don't want to do it right. You know, that's the main thing about it, doing it right, inserting the original character, and making sure it still sounds the same, and the same attitude, the same acting chops of, Tony, God rest his soul. He was this great guy. He was a buddy of mine too, and he was from England, and the way I'm not. And I guess that they're all, probably as far as pressure goes, it's probably equal. You know, I just want to do it right every time, because I feel like they're all Super Bowls, you know, because they last forever. You know, TV promos aren't such a big deal. You know, on the next TBS, The Big Bang Theory. Google what's his name gets a hickey from Grumman, and you'll never hear that again. You know, so that's not such a big deal. But when you're singing "Be Prepared," you want to do that right. You know, so I guess they're all the same pressure-wise. That was a really long, boring answer to that question. Another question. Yes.
Have you ever considered doing anime?
Anime? What is that? Is this an anime joke? I've been told to watch out for you. I guess I don't think I've ever done any. Sorry. If they ask me, I probably would. Wait, anime audio castles in the sky. Does that count? Is that anime? Well, there you go. Please, that's kind of some people.
You're in the general.
So I guess the answer is yes. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Sort of technical question. What do you do to protect your vocal health?
Well, I wake up and drink a quart of tequila. And then I just polish off a pack of Marlboros. What else? Gargle. I like to grind up light bulbs. No, I've never smoked. I drink a little beer, I guess, but I don't know. Just take care of yourself. I think if you're okay, the instrument's okay. I think you're happy. No. I think just take care of yourself in general. Unfortunately, I'm 20 years old, so I'm not doing a horrible job. Thanks for pointing that out. I feel so much better. I don't know, just hanging out, taking vitamins, and all that stuff Mom said, I guess. She knew. Yes.
I was just wondering how you managed to teach yourself accents, because I am Cajun. I grew up around there. I can't do the accent. I grew up listening to my mama and papa with the accent, but I can't do it. How did you learn that?
I know, you really suck. I can't believe it. Where are you from? New York? Shame on you. Where are you from?
Louisiana.
But where though?
Baton Rouge.
Go to bed. You from Baton Rouge, girl? What I'm gonna do with you, girl? when we go over there to Baton Rouge, that's good eating. You know? Anything in Louisiana. I used to be a deckhand. Well, I was a deckhand on a riverboat when I moved to New Orleans right out of high school. It's just one of those things. I always wanted to be a drummer and speak joint on River Street. If you didn't hear me say that, and I was. And I got that out of my system, you know, all those weird things. And I just thought it was a really cool place. And maybe it was just because, of course, I wasn't younger than you. You still win that race. I was going to say, I moved there at an early age, and I was, I was saying earlier, I was the only guy on some of those boats, you know, because you go out on you're probably familiar with the tugboats and everything that go up down the river and the Intercoastal Canal and the Gulf of Mexico and all that stuff. And I was a lot of times I was the only guy. Everybody was born in America, in Louisiana, but I'd be like the only guy on there for whom English was his first language. And as you would know, right? You know, those guys from there and I don't know, I think I'm just a bit of a sponge because I kind of grew up, I would say I used to imitate my relatives and teachers at school, and they loved that. And I think it was just being a bit of a mimic and everything, and I don't know, I guess I just had an ear for it, you know?
It's just really impressive because you're the only voice actor who's ever done it right. While I can't do it, I can tell when it's done right.
Oh yeah. Well, thanks. That's so sweet. When we did that, when we were doing the press release for Princess and the Frog, it came out, and I had a bunch of ladies from, Morgan City and different Louisiana newspapers, and they're going, and you know what? They are right. The critics of what you're right about people really screwing up the Cajun accent. It pisses me off sometimes. What the hell?
They, because a long time they used to go, hey, yeah, I'm Cajun, I'm from Louisiana. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're from Gomer. You know, stop that. You know, and I don't have an answer to that, but it's you're right. It's a different thing. It's almost like an upside down Jamaican, right?
It's rounder than the regular Southern.
It's a what?
Rounder.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, people from New Orleans, they say, I'm not from the South. I'm from New Orleans. You know, it's not. I know it's a different critter. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's booty. Anything, and you can verify this. I thought about anything that falls out of a tree, flies over you and poops, digs a hole and has eggs or feathers or talons or beaks or anything. You know, you see that right there, boy? That's good eating. Yeah. That's good eating. And over rice. We're talking about good. So, I don't know, maybe it was something that's good. Yes. I don't know. I really don't. Well, they said, I think Roger Rabbit had come out a little bit before, and they said they wanted that sort of energy, but they didn't want it. You know, they didn't want any of that, and I said, well, don't worry, I won't. And but they wanted it to be real tuney and real silly, and I have no idea what they thought of me.
But you know, Dr. Steve Arcap, he was the very first true detective. I don't know if you, in case you didn't know, but the thing is, I was obviously popular because it was the actual first true detective who was ever actually a detective in Toontown. And I'm sorry, what was the question?
It was great because I got to be Lucky to Cal on that show. And
I was like, Lucky, if you didn't be in.
Lucky said, yeah, I know. Jesus Christ, I know. Please, just shoot me. You know, so, I don't know. I think it was just you know, like, cross between annoying and cute. Fine line. I was mostly on the annoying side. Yes, in the back.
Me?
Yes!
Yeah.
You! Stand!
Okay, yeah. Speaking of Bonters,
Or don't.
speaking of Bonters, remember how Bonters had some problems in production?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Which did you record first? Miranda White episodes or the War Tunage episodes?
Oh yeah. Well, the Mirandas, the Miranda rights. Someone read the Miranda rights. Funny, very funny joke there. Yeah, it was. They were first, and I think a bunch of them came out, and it was funny because you never really. I mean, I give up like with music. I never really know. I was like, why is My Sharona a hit? It shouldn't be, you know. And I thought the same thing, but that was like one thing that I was involved with. Where I was thinking, you know, the writing. It's the writing. It's Walt Disney said it too. You know, it's the story, the story, the story. Because the best animation, the best look, the best brightest color, the biggest explosions don't matter if the writing isn't there. Because the writers, it all comes from that imagination. You know, it starts there first. And that batch that you're talking about. I don't know, I don't think they were that well written, and so they came out with those first, and they going, these aren't that well written, and so we did the rest of them. And then it really kind of fell in like when Lucky came aboard, I think that's what you were referring to.
Well, the War Tunage short, the Heat Bonter short, were they recorded before or after the Miranda episode, the shorts from War Tunage, Heat Bonters?
Oh, Rock Tunage, oh gosh, I can't remember.
Okay.
I was just a kid.
You were the voice of Savage. You were the voice of Savage Dragon, which is like my favorite comedy ever. But I know that like the creator of Savage Dragon, Eric Lawson, wanted more of a Bruce Willis type voice. So you're doing more Bruce Willis type voice.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's too bad, Eric. Okay, get him over here. We'll straighten him out. I didn't even know. I never even met him. He probably signed over the rights.
But you do a Bruce Willis type voice for Dragon right now.
What's that?
Do you do a Bruce Willis type voice for Dragon right now?
Savage Dragon. You know, I don't think it was that much different than this one, was it? I mean, this guy that you hear now never works. I would be starving if I had to talk like this all the time. But Savage Dragon, he was just kind of a, well, you know, I just think that there's a certain thing, you know, and it was kind of like that Sandy, oh, sorry, man. He's not all that impressive, you know. But I can go in the corner. That's close. I could do a hell of an insurance salesman, too. That'll really sizzle your nads. Yes.
If you had to pick a favorite character that you voiced, which one would it be?
Savage Dragon? Are you kidding? No, I just haven't heard my insurance salesman. You know, that's a good question, and I get that a lot, but I don't have one. Pooh and Tigger for, I mean, you know, the wonderful tradition and the fact that they've been around forever. I mean, they started in the 20s in literature, and there's just that beautiful tradition. There's an evergreen quality to them. They're not attached to any fad, or you know, there'll never be a pog or I can't even think of anything else. He's like super trendy, and those guys are, you know, so for that reason, but then, you know, some of the guys that I did on my own, like Don Carnage, I loved, and Darkwing, and Ray. Honestly, Ray is like way up there. I mean, Princeton was awesome. And of course, Ed from Lion King. You know, it was, I gotta say that one of the things about that was I get a lot of characters that don't have dialogue. It was Lurch, Taz, I would say I'm Winnie the Pooh and the anti-Pooh. You know, I don't think you can get much farther away from Pooh than Taz, but Taz is up there. Ray, Darkwing, and Bump in the Night, Mr. Bumpy. I liked him. He was really cool, and gosh, you know, I'm just always looking forward to the next one, I guess. But those few, I would think.
Just one more. What about you do your best spaz out from Pete from Goocher?
That's my best one?
Pete from Goocher, his best freak out.
Oh, my best freak out?
Whenever he would lose his December and had to hyperventilate. The thing from Goof Troop.
Oh wow, jeez. My best freak out. I don't remember exactly what was that. Any specific thing?
Whenever we do something stupid, which was a lot.
Wait, I'm sorry. What?
Whenever Goofy would do something stupid, which was a lot,
Oh.
he would have kind of like Pete. He would have this really weird hyperventilating, or like spazzing.
Will you do it for us? Ladies and gentlemen, Aurora. No.
If I had the male vocal cords, I would be able to do it. But sorry, I'm a girl.
Yeah. Oh, that will fight well. I don't know there, pal. I'll have to work on that for you. PJ, go on off to college, because Daddy can't miss you if you don't go away. A little shock to the system is good for the little ones every now and then. It purges their little glands that they may grow.
I always thought that parenting tips from Pete would be good.
When in doubt, crazy glue their little buns to the floor and leave a nice bin of feed next to them.
So, what's that? Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't say Twitter without saying twit. Might be too much communication. Yes, in the front row.
Yeah, so I heard that you did some voices for Skyrim. It's like, what were your favorite voices from that game? And you do a sample?
Yeah, I think I was just like the elder, wasn't I? See, that's weird. That's a weird one because it's not like regular animation. I haven't seen any of it yet. Is it out? It's out. No, of course it's out. No, I'm not a big gamer, man. I know. I feel bad. I feel like I should be. But wasn't that was like the old guy who wasn't he? Wasn't that him? Oh man, I'm so sorry. I do a lot of stuff. I'm sorry. I can't remember that. But he was the elder, wasn't he? The Elder Scrolls? No, that was another one. Okay, Tony's throwing me a life like that. Yeah, thanks for that question. No, I really am. But I just did a couple of those recently, and I get like two of them confused. But if my daughter was there, she would be able to help me, but she's not. What's that?
You're a bunch of random townspeople. I hear you walk.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I give good townspeople. Yeah. Did you guys see Hercules? I was the old man from Barney. Let me ask you something. Have you ever diverted a natural disaster? So I remember because my kids watch it. That's like whenever like a really cool movie comes out, I go, please God, please let me be in this movie because I'm gonna have to hear it 20 times a day. If I don't get into this, it's like, oh Dad, you should have been in this. Yeah, I know. That's all right. Yes, in the back, sir.
Me?
Yes, sure.
I have an actual question, but first I have to make a comment. When someone asks you about favorite characters, I'm sure you broke many hearts because everyone wanted them for you to say their favorite character is your favorite character.
Well,
Like
Savage
they were Bob thing and they probably said something else. Now on to my actual question. I'm not sure if someone asked this before, but how is relations with the other voice actors in a project work? I mean, do you actually let's say example of Castle in the Sky. Do you actually have coffee with Mark Hamill? What? Castle in the Sky.
Oh, yeah.
Do you actually have coffee with Mark Hamill, or you just go in, you do your lines and get out?
Jeez, no, I think we did that separately. I mean, Mark's a buddy. He's a good buddy of mine. No, we did a lot of them. Movies. I'll tell you this. When it comes to movies, you never do it with somebody else. Oh, I mean, like ever. I mean, I've sung songs and harmonized with people who weren't there. But for movies, for some reason, sometimes with TV shows, you used to do all the TV shows, like all the old Disney afternooners. there was everybody in the room, even the very, very first original Winnie the Pooh's. But nowadays, I don't know if it's because they're using a lot of on-camera people, like from sitcoms or just, turbo famous facial people who have tough schedules, but we never seem to do it together anymore, and I miss that. So I guess the answer is no. We were never in the same. But no movies. I don't think I've ever done.
What about for TV shows?
Yeah, a lot of the older TV shows we did, and occasionally we do now. I'll tell you that one of my favorite is Clone Wars. And then we all still, everybody gets in the same room at the same time, as many people as they can, And I just have that character named Hondo Onaka. He's not in that many shows, but when he is, it's all of them there. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, we all seem to be there, but it's like boom, 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 boom. We're never in the room at the same time. So I like it. I wish we were.
Was Sonic everyone in the same room or not?
I'm sorry?
Now I just need to ask, just for myself. Was Sonic Stadium everyone in the same room or everyone by themselves?
What was Sonic?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, that one was. That was. Well, again, that was a few years ago. For some reason, I don't know. They just don't do it that way anymore. I wish they did. What? Yes.
I think you have to do the Robbie voice.
Since you portrayed so many beloved characters, specifically in the Disney world, I was just wondering if you feel any pressure, whether outside or contractual, as far as other roles you may take or any public appearances.
What, you mean like working for DreamWorks or something like that?
Something like that, or there's something that might be more of an adult theme, like I think you meant like Slaughterhouse?
Oh yeah, no, that's not me. I don't know who is. The next person. No, that was like a fluke. It was like this buddy of mine was going, come on. But only because they gave me too much money. But yes, they nurse in the back.
What do you feel about celebrities doing voiceover work?
I hate that. I'm just kidding. I despise it. No, it's if I knew these guys, I would make a deal with them. It's like okay, Tom Cruise or Sylvester Stallone or whoever. Oh, I got in a fight with Sylvester Stallone once in Ants. But he won. Big surprise. But no. It's like I tell my close personal friend Brad Pitt. Brad, if you'll quit doing animated voices, I promise I won't be on screen with Angelina Jolie. But no, I understand it. Excuse me, I understand it. Because that person would go on a Tonight Show or Leno or Letterman and tout the movie. So it makes sense. It makes sense. But most of them. I mean, I got some really silly stories. They're not all Tim Curry or Robin Williams, you know what I mean? I ended up bringing a lot of guys, thank you, Jesus, because I remember we were doing the California Raisins. I'm not going to tell you the guy's name, but a lot of the guys, and they're wonderful actors, don't get me wrong, this is a goofy story, I'll just tell you real quick, but I was AC, and Dorian Harewood, who obviously does a lot of stuff. He was Stretch, and Cam Clark was Bebop, and there was another guy, Brian Stokes Mitchell, who's an amazing actor. He's like the king of Broadway now. He ended up playing the role of Red, but the first Red is a guy whose name I won't tell you because it's. But he's a face guy. He had a really big movie at the time, and he was out, and maybe somebody will find out who he is, but I'm not going to tell you because it would be weird. But it was like, we had a line like, well, I don't know, Stretch, what do you think? Well, I mean, or Red, I'm sorry, what do you think? I mean, should we go down there? Should we do this and that and that? And he goes, yeah. Now, all you heard was Yeah. And it's like, that's tough to animate. You know, animate silence. Okay, good. No one can see you. Okay? You know, so some of them are good at it and some of them aren't, but I wish they'd all just kind of stay home. You know what I'm saying? You know? It's like, has anybody ever gone by the schoolyard and heard kids going, you know, there's going to be a new animated movie coming out. God, I hope Martin Sheen's in it. Nah, you never heard that. And you're probably not gonna, but you're not gonna fight it, so what are you gonna do? Hopefully I'll retire. You know. Yes, sir. Yes.
How often do you get involved with the service for the Wish Foundation?
Oh, you know, not all that often, but maybe a couple times a year. Yeah, you know, and I read at schools and stuff and things like that. Once or twice a month, I will like make phone calls and stuff. But the actual Make-A-Wish Foundation people, they don't call me that much. There's another one called Famous Phone Friends that, you know, and it's so sweet. I really love doing that. You know, call little sick kids. You know, like Christmas and Hanukkah and all the various times of year. You know, little ones in the hospital, and you know, and I'm really happy to do that. You know, call them up. Cheer them up, you know. It's good stuff. It balances out my karma because I'm like this really good guy, and then I go back to being a jerk. And it evens out. It's okay, you know. Yes.
Two questions. Did you ever work with June Foray?
Foray? Oh yeah.
What was she like?
Lots of times. Oh, she's great. Yeah, I know her very well. I don't know, 3 weeks ago, probably. Yeah. She does Granny. I don't know if anybody knew that, but she's Granny and Celeste. Of course she did. No, but yeah, she's a great lady. Yeah, 92. 92. And I joked around with her. I said, June, if you get any smaller, we're gonna have to mark you absent. She's a sweetheart. Yeah, she's got, and she still has this little Rocky around her neck that I guess her niece is a jeweler and she made it, and she's a great lady. Yeah, she's like the first lady of animation, I suppose. You know, yeah, she's a great lady. And yes, sir, with the hat.
I know that this was at the beginning of your career, but do you have any particular memories of what the feeling between the studios was for Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
The feeling of what? I'm sorry.
What the feeling between the studios was for Who Framed Roger Rabbit when they were working on
Disney and Warner Brothers
and Universal and
how they did? Oh, you mean what?
What was it like working on that?
Oh, it was great. It was really cool. Yeah, we sure did a ton of stuff that didn't end up in the movie. It was cool. It was cool hanging out with Bob Hoskins. It was that was a weird gig. That was the very first movie I ever did, and God, I was in the business like 6 months. I was going, you know, but it was cool. And for a lot of scenes, I was a couple of the weasels. I ended up being Slim Pickens' Bullet, yeah. But there were a few weasels, and it was so funny. They had, I'll tell you this is kind of cool. They had a giant, you know, everybody knows Gumby. Gumby's probably here. Well, they had an actual life-size, which would have been life, which means like, you know, this table, weasels. And Bob Hoskins, poor guy, and this one scene didn't even make it in the movie, and I remember seeing the movie going, oh dude, we spent all that time and they cut it. It was like 4 in the morning, I'm serious, in Griffith Park, and he's wearing this thing, which was like about 8-inch thick of masking tape. It was supposedly, the weasels kidnapped him and masking taped him up. And he's standing there, well, all right, I was standing there like this, that's how he really talks to real life. I'm sorry, what did you say? Yeah, thank you. And yeah, you got it. And he'd be doing the take, and you know, Bob Zemeckis is standing there, and they would take that big Gumby-sized thing, and Bob would be standing there, and he would focus on that, right? And he would look at the weasel right in the face, and he'd go, and action, and they would pull the weasel out, and Bob would hold the focus like he was talking to it, and that's where they drew the weasel. And I was over here, right out of camera range, wearing this big, stupid, giant black velvet thing with my head poking out like this so I could go, well, what are you doing there? You're thinking, you know. And then he would be talking to me, and I was wearing this black thing so that no light would reflect off of me and mess up the scene and blah, 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 blah. And then they cut it. And it was like, wow. You know, so it was a lot of fun. But it really gave me a feel for the on-camera thing, and I thought, you know, I mean, we're waiting around for hours. And I'm thinking, why can't we just go back and stand where we were standing and do another thing? Can't we do that? No. And that's one of the things that told me, I said, okay, I'm not on camera. I need a microphone. You can keep the camera, man. But it was fun. You know, it was cool to see Daffy and Donald and, well, you know, the whole gang was like, what is wrong with this picture? You know, so it was cool. Yes, Mr. Red Glove.
You voiced pretty much well over 100 to 500 different characters. When you get like a new role, do you always try to tell yourself what I'm going to do different with this role? Yeah, you know, it's like Sue Blue says, I don't really have all that many voices. I have one voice, but it bends. You know, I guess that's kind of the way I think of it. But yeah, I just want to make sure that but it's inevitable. I mean, some things you're going to have to sound like, you know, the other one, like, that was Townsman number 4. And, you know, things, so you can't avoid it, but I really do try. I really do try to separate them. And, you know, I don't want Tigger or Taz or any Darkwing to show up and be an insurance salesman. So I try.
Dr. Robotics is an insurance salesman.
Yes, my friend.
No, you do a lot of singing and everything like that. Is there any particular song that you, like, not something that you may have done per se, but just a song in general that you find that you're singing alone in the car, or, you know?
Oh God, yeah, millions, man. I mean, I couldn't even answer. Yeah, you know, I've been singing my whole life. I mean, so yeah, I don't know, R&B. You know, yes, sir.
Just wondering. Now, somebody asked earlier what one of your favorite characters were. What was one of the favorite productions you worked on?
Wow, geez, I don't know, Aladdin. Well, I'm sorry, princess. You will have to take it up Jafar with Jafar. I take my orders from him. And that was Rasul. Oh, quick little thing. Rasul Adzani is they oftentimes, especially Musker and Clemens, those guys, if you guys watch their movies, Hercules, Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Princess and the Frog, they do little cameos in all their movies. That's kind of a cool thing to know. They draw themselves into the movie. And if, speaking of favorite productions, this is totally off of that, but if you ever see Princess and the Frog, the opening scene, there's someone beating a rug. Well, it's Aladdin's rug. And then the Mardi Gras floats at the end of the movie. There's an Aladdin float, a Hercules float, a Little Mermaid float, and we're all pretending like nobody noticed. And half of the dry goods stores and the feed stores and the French Quarter are Musker and Clements, or it's their names are in there. And Peter Del Vecchio and his wife dance across the scene as like a Rudolph Valentino thing at the ball. And I can tell you one time I was very fortunate. We were doing the Tasmania show, and you know when Taz comes out of the forest, they drew me, my actual self, running away with all the critters, and I've got it on VHS somewhere. So that was one of my favorite productions. That was going on. Hey, I know that dude. So it's kind of cool, you know. Yes, right. Mr. Ninja Turtle, is that what that is? No. Oh, I couldn't tell what it said. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, he had turtle green on letters.
What was your experience like working on Sonic the Hedgehog? Your reaction when you got finished?
I was pissed. Well, I did the American one, and then they did one up in Vancouver, Canada somewhere.
which is a foreign country, we're Canada, and you know, I don't understand a lot of times that Up in the Night they canceled and it had the best ratings. The Darkwing was on ABC and they canceled that and it had the best ratings. I don't understand that. I don't think anybody does. You know. Yeah, I probably would be. Yeah. Did you say you had prisoners? He's a pumpkin. I'm too glad he doesn't do books on tape. Call me Ishmael. I don't know. Yes, right there. Yes, you. Yeah.
When you do a scene where you're voicing both characters talking to one another, do you do them all in one take, or do you prefer to do one voice and then go back into the other side of the conversation?
Most of the time I learn one after another, and but the past few years, when you put in Tigger, I do them separately. You know, because I used to overlap myself. He was ugly, he was hard to look at. But no, I like to do it just in case, you know, because you don't want it to bleed over. You don't want you to say, oh, bother, now what David Tigger is. What are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Oh, bother. So, yeah, we do separate. God. We're back. I'm back. Hi. I'm Jim. Yeah. Yes. Jesus. Yeah. No, well, thank you. Next question. I feel better now. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Earlier you said that you were good friends with Mark Hamill. Are you good friends with like a lot of voice actors?
Oh yeah.
Like who do you know like the most? Or
oh gosh, I can't stand most of them. No, I'm kidding. No, gosh, it's funny. Rob and I and Frank and now Nolan North, we lived maybe within like a mile and a half of each other. I mean, it was a bit planet. But yeah, no, I'm good friends with all. I mean, we all really get along really well, you know. Even with the crazy ones.
I have a follow-up question to something that happened earlier in the Q A. Who is your favorite celebrity, voice actor? If you had to pick one,
Oh, you mean of their work? Gosh, well, Tim Curry sure is great.
Yeah.
Golly, boy, there's a lot of really great guys out there. Certainly Mark Hamill. I mean, gosh, Robin Williams appears to be muddling through, just different people like that. Yes.
What was more fun to work on or sing? Be Prepared or In the Dark of the Night Between the Stations?
Oh wow. Boy, I don't know. In the Dark of the Night, that was a really cool one. It felt kind of Andrew Lloyd Webber-ish, so that was cool. They're different critters. I'm trying to pick a song that would probably be Prepared. You ever notice the bad guy always gets a tango? It's a tango. Remember Captain Milk? I played him on stage once. Oh, you like this? I was in my daughter Raleigh's 25 and she's a really great little actress right now in her own right, and you heart Darkwing, thank you for that. She oh God, I forgot what I was going to say. What did you ask me? Thanks. Yeah, but it was, well, I'm sorry, what was your question though? What was it? Oh, Be prepared. But it was, I remember singing, God, I can't think of the song. To cook a cake quite large. It was Captain Hook. Anyway, it was Captain Hook in Peter Pan, a stage production. And, he was always a British fellow. That was me, this and that and that. And I thought, how about if we break with tradition and I did Captain Hook as Don Carnage? It was really cool. It was good. Were you in Tailspin?
Why do you ask me this stupid question, you silly little person who is talking to me with your face? Don't forget to remember, I am Don Carnage, roll the R.
No, that wasn't me. So I did Captain Hook as Don Carnage because Chuck McCann suggested it. You ever know Chuck McCann, the cool, great guy? Eric Crocker? Yeah, he told me, he was on Tailspin and he goes, man, you ought to do a pirate, And then like 2 years later, my daughter came up with this thing, she auditioned for this Peter Pan thing, and she goes, and they said, well, why don't you be Captain Hook? And I go,
yes, I will, but it won't be the one you are used to.
So yeah, that was a fun one. That guy always gets a tango. That's a tango, Be prepared as a tango. Yes.
There are several characters that you voice, both for Disney-related things and in the Kingdom Hearts video games, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Pete. Is there any difference in the way, like the way that you, not necessarily the actor recording, but like the people that you work through recording for the games as opposed to like recording for the Disney shorts or fairy tales and stuff? Is it handled by a different team or is it all pretty much the same thing?
Yeah, it is. Like the video games and toys and stuff, that goes through Disney character voices. But they're all, especially with the classic characters like that, they well, at this point they don't really have to, but they kind of police the characters to make sure that this one won't say anything out of character and everything, But it's Disney's really on top of that. Disney's really on top of that, and they won't let anything go too far afield, So the answer to your question is yes, it is a lot of different people, but the characters are always going to come out the same. I remember one time, that was like 10 years ago, and some guy, and I was thinking, this guy, how did he even get in? Because occasionally some outside production company will come in and want to license the characters. Well, can we get Pooh to do something for this or that, or or Tigger, or whatever? And Disney, I guess this guy, they hired me to come in and do a script with them. This production company, it never went anywhere, just for the record. But I was doing Tigger, and the guy, the producer, I was thinking, how could you ask this question? Well, Tigger was over there, and he was saying, wait a second, that's ridiculous. And I'm doing all this stuff, and my friend in the studio said, halfway through, the producer leaned over and says to the engineer, when he does Tigger, he seems like he's lisping. You gonna keep doing that? We didn't work with him anymore. He's getting, would you like some coffee? He's out in the hall. No, how did you not know that, man? But they're all the same. They keep the same. Yes, Miss Peters. Yeah, that was fun. No, that was a weird one. That's one of those ones where I was saying earlier, like Lurch or Taz or Ed, there was no script, and they were they knew they wanted Ed, and they knew they wanted. He's like a running gag, a sight gag, a comedy relief, all the above. And Rob Minkoff at one point. They just said, because they were trying to, well, should he be in here? Should he say something to Whoopi or Cheech or, Jeremy Irons or, And so what we ended up doing was we wrote down, just a bunch of moods and expressions and anger, fear, lust, betrayal, hunger, apprehension, cold, you're hot, you're this, and it was just on a sheet of Lego paper. And they said, okay, here's your script. I said, okay. And I just sat there and assigned to laugh to each of those stupid things. It was like, should we do one that's laughing? And sure. You know. So that was a weird one. That was officially the weirdest little gig in the world because he didn't say anything. You know, but you had to portray the fear. It's like, and then he pooped. So you knew he was afraid. You know, but scatological humor is always on winter. You know, so yes, on the corner.
Out of all the roles that you've ever played, what is the most difficult and challenging one you've had?
Gosh. Man, I don't know. They all end up being so much fun. Oh, well, I can tell you this one because you'll never see it. Thank God. It was the worst Stephen King movie ever made. And please tell me you didn't hear of this, The Mangler. It was like one of his short stories. See, good answer. No, I was the voice of the Mangler. And I think it was because Christine, remember the movie Christine? That was kind of a hit. Well, the Mangler was this thing, and I want to say it was like an industrial strength printing press, or I can't even remember. It was a horrible movie. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I mean, the book wasn't too bad. It was a short story, but man, it was just the stupidest movie. And I was the Mangler, and they wanted I didn't even audition for it. They just said, well, let's just get Jim. And I was like, oh, crap. You know, and so I told my agent to like triple the fee, and then they paid it. They were supposed to say no. And so I had to go in and we layered it because they wanted it to sound otherworldly, and it was, you know, that was one layer, the other layer was, and the other layer was, on the top of that, and that's do that for about 5 hours. You walk out, how you doing? You know, that answer question, thanks for asking. You know, so that was definitely the weirdest. Didn't see any resids on that. I can't believe they didn't sell those. You know, yes, it's definitely. You had to bring him up. Fine. I hope you're happy. Actually, no, gosh, they were all my favorites. They really were. You know, every time it was probably the one where he pretended to be Darkwing and wasn't, and it was just yeah, that one. You know, they were all just, I just was nuts about it. I had a great time. And yes. Oh, okay. One more. Take us home, Mama. No. Of course. Don't be silly. You bet. No problem. Okay, that wasn't a real question. We'll have to just call on you. Or both of you now, see? Because we can't. Okay, Miss Purple.
Okay, I was wondering, you mentioned how the writing is important for animation. And I was wondering, like, if you ever remember getting a specific question where you said, oh, this will just be okay, and then you're like, oh, wait a second, I can't wait to play this.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, all of them. But I end up getting hired a lot because I never say what's on the page. You know, I can give you an example. It was a recent one like Ray. I don't know if Prince of the Frog, he got, you know, when I got shot out of that guy's nostril with the rest of his boogers. Yeah, that was me. I hit the thing and the line was, oh man, that's going to leave a mark. You know, so instead I went, oh.
Oh man, you got just chipped my favorite tooth.
You know, they only had 5. So he had to have a favorite. So I tend to just change it around a little bit. Yeah, yes. Last question, and it is.
So, okay, I have a comment. My favorite movie of all time is when I was like young, was Aladdin. And I remember the day I like watched it so much that the tape broke and I started crying.
I didn't do it. Can I send you another?
And, so, what do you think of, like, 90s versus today? Like, I don't know if that's actually been, like, asked.
What, you mean like the animation or movies?
Well, the animation, like, we were all sitting down at the table, and my dad remembers me watching Robin's Modern Life when I was younger, and he remembers I was back out when I was younger. And
That's so weird. I was younger than too. That's weird. That's freaky.
I used to watch those shows, and now today, like, I remember watching the Kids' Choice Awards, and Kristen Stewart comes up, and she lists all her favorite shows from the 90s. And all the kids look at her like, what the heck is Doug? And look like, what the heck is Doug? Like, she looks like cat dogs. She looks like I'm pretty sure.
And rightly so.
What the? It's like, so do you think like TV is like Nickelodeon, especially since you...
Yeah. I'm not crazy about a lot of them, to be honest with you. I mean, some of it's just so weird and it's so out there, and I mean, I don't know. I'm not crazy about some of them. I won't mention names, but I mean, enough with the boogers and okay, we get it. You can fart. That's great. We all burp, and it's everybody knows. So I don't know. I'm probably a little more traditional in that regard. Yeah, but. I don't know. I think that's it. Maybe just one more program. Yes. Okay.
I'm probably going to get tracked up this, but if you got asked to voice and character in My Little Pony Friendship,
My Little Pony what? Did I get asked what?
if you ever were to get asked to be a part of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, would you? So yeah.
No. I don't think Tara's strong would let me, but if it's okay with Tara, it's okay with me. All right. Thank you so much.